Hello everybody, today we are going to talk about areas of trapezoids. Okay, so here's a trapezoid. Remember, a trapezoid is a four-sided figure that's got one set of parallel sides. The area of a trapezoid is, here's the formula, 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. So here's your height right here in green. Here's one of the bases, here's the other base. So you're going to take the two bases, you're going to add them together, and then you're going to multiply that number by h and then take half of that. Okay? So pretty simple formula. Now, why is that the formula? That's the big question. So remember, we started out with the area of a rectangle is base times height. Okay, and then we figured out the triangle after that. Well, you can actually build the trapezoid out of that too. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with this. Here's our trapezoid, and what we do is here's the height, okay, and then we go ahead and move the height out here, and then halfway between those 2 points we draw another height right there. Now what that does is it cuts this thing. So if you can think of it as I'm going to take this triangle right here and I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to move it right there, and it should fit exactly there. Okay, so now this end of this trapezoid no longer has a slant like this, it just goes straight up. Okay, then we can do the same thing. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. I can do the same thing over here. Luna the math cat says that I've been doing this wrong. Okay, whoops, there we go. Anyway, I can do the same thing over here. I take the height and I slide it out here, and then I cut off this triangle right here and I move it up here. And then what I've done then is I've made this red rectangle right there. Okay, so I've taken the trapezoid and I've turned it into a rectangle, and now here's the height, which was the same as it was before, but here's the base. And so I can just go base times height. Well, how did I calculate, or how do I get the base out of this thing? Well, what I did was I took the bottom base right here and I averaged it with the top base. Yeah, that's right. And so I get this base right here. So how do you find the average of two things? You add them together and you divide by 2, right? Well, if I look here, what did I just do? I took the two bases, I add them together, and then I divide them by 2, which is the same thing as multiplying by 1/2. And so I average the bases and then I go base times height. And that's how you get that formula. Okay? So let's just do a couple now. Oh, I know. So find the area of the trapezoids. So here's an area, here's one up here. So the first thing I'm always going to do is write down my formula. Half the height times base 1 plus base 2. Always write down the formula. Then ask yourself, okay, what do I know? Well, I know the height. So I can put that in. The height is 6. Okay? I know both the bases, so one of them is 5 and the other one is 9. It really doesn't matter which one is which. Okay, so there's my formula. And then this ends up being half of 6 times 14. And I can do this whatever order I want, remember. I'm going to take half of 14 is 7, and 7 times 6 is 42. So this comes out to be 42 square feet. Now I noticed on the triangles, a couple of you wrote 42 square feet like this, and that is absolutely wrong. So please don't do that. Okay, the units come first, and then the square. Okay, so there's that. So let's do the next one. Okay, so the next one's going to be, again, we write down the formula, 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. And so I know the height. The height is 5. I know base 1 is 8.5, and I know base 2 is 11.5. So I just plug in all those things, and I'm going to figure out the height again. Okay, so 8.5 and 11.5, that's, what, 20, right? 1920, yep. So this is 1/2 of 5 times 20. And half of 20 is 10, and 10 times 5 is 50. So this is going to be 50 square meters, just like that. And there's my area. Yes, very nice. Okay, so she always licks my ears when I get a problem right. So here we go. Time to get down. All right, thank you. Now I'm gonna let you do these two on your own. So go ahead and pause the video right here and do these two problems, and then jump back on and see that you got it right. Okay, so again, I wrote down my formula: 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. If you don't write down the formula and all your work on your assignment, you're not going to get credit. Okay, so the height is 5. Now that's kind of weird because the 5 is on the bottom here, and we usually think of the base on the bottom. But remember, the base of a trapezoid are the two parallel sides. Okay, so they're going to be 8 and 4. And so the area is going to be 1/2 of 5 times 12. Half of 12 is 6, and 6 times 5 is 30. And my units are going to be millimeters squared. Okay, let's try this one. So again, area is 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. The height on this one is 6 inches. Base 1 is 7.7. Base 2 is 2.3. This comes out to be 10. So it's 1/2 of 6 times 10. Well, 6 times 10 is 60, and half of that is 30. So this is 30, and that's in square inches this time. Okay. So what fun. Hopefully you got both those right. Did I get them both right? Did I get them both right? Yeah, I did. Okay, moving on. All right, so what's the area of this trapezoid? Okay, so you're going to look for the two bases, or the two parallel sides. Here's one of them right here, and I can count there's 2. And then over here, this one's 1. Okay, and then I check to see what is my height. Well, my height is going to be from, let's make this color here too. So it's going to go from here to here. And I'm going to go ahead and count that. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the height is 6. Okay, so I'll get my formula. 1/2 the height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, and I'll plug in my numbers. The height is 6, and base 1 is 1, and base 2 is 2. So this is half of 6 times 3. Okay, so let's see. 6 times 3 is 18, and half of that is 9. So my answer is 9. So I go up here, and I look, 6 square units, well, that one's out. 7 square units, well, that one's out. 9 units. Now, a lot of people would put this as an answer because it's 9, right? Except it's not 9 units. It's 9 square units. So the answer is going to be D. Right, Luna? No answer. Okay. All right, check this out. You can use a trapezoid to approximate the shape of Scott County, Virginia. So here's Scott County, Virginia right here. It is pretty close to a trapezoid. Okay, it's got a population of about 23,000 people in it. About how many people are there per square mile? Okay, so if we look at the information on the picture, here's my formula. And I've got one base is 15 and one's 38, so I'm going to go ahead and put those in there. And the height is 20. Okay, then I've got half out here. Okay, so half of 20 is 10. And then 15 plus 38, that's 53. And so that is 530 square miles. Now, a lot of people would put a box around that and say that's the answer, but that's not the answer to the question. It says how many people are there per square mile? So I've got 23,000 people, and I'm dividing that by 530 square miles. So it's people per square miles. The people goes on top. Whatever's per, in this case, per square mile is the divisor here. Okay, so that should go in here about 4 times right there. So that'd be 0, that'd be 12, that'd be 21. That leaves 180 when I subtract, and I drop down a 0. That's going to be about 3. So that'd be 3 times 0, 3 times 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. And I subtract, and I'm going to get, I'm going to get 0, and I'm going to get 10 minus 9 is 1, and 7, that's going to be 210. Okay, and I don't need parts of people. So it's going to be about 43 people per square mile. Not very many. Okay, moving right along. Here's your assignment. You're going to get to do 1 through 27 odd in class, and I look forward to seeing you guys later.